What's up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. The figure we're reviewing today is going to be the TransArts Beast Gorilla. Let me get him in the middle. Jeez, he's not even... Boom. Yeah. I said Beast Gorilla. I meant to say Skateboard Gorilla. Because, you know, Beast Gorilla is a completely different figure. This is their take on a Transmetal, a Beast Wars Transmetal, Optimus Primal. And it is a very faithful homage to the original Transmetal Optimus Primal figure. It's really nice and really well done. About what you'd expect from if you saw the Transmetal Cheeto review I did recently. It's exactly the same sort of thing. There are people who have suggested that this is the original Beast Wars toy, but just like scaled up. It's not even a little bit. I mean, a lot of the engineering is the same, but why improve on perfection? I guess that figure basically did absolutely everything it was supposed to do, and this does it all with a little bit more. But yeah, taking a look at him, he's pretty good. He's got a nice solid feel to him, even though he doesn't actually have any die cast in it that I can identify. But what's here is done really well. Like lots of good quality in him. The silver paint is, now that I'm looking at it under the brighter, whiter light, it's actually not silver. It's just a shade of almost like a very, very, very pale gold. Some airbrushing on the chest here. Little metallic red details here and here. All in all, it's really good. It just has a nice classic look to it. Get this wiped up. As with the Transmetal Cheetor, the varnish on this is done extremely well. Like, especially with vacuum metallized chrome pieces that have, you know, like 90-degree corners in them, either external or internal corners. You'll often see some kind of pooling in those corners, but not here. It's extremely well done. And it feels super solid. I haven't seen any chipping in any of these chrome parts whatsoever. And there are quite a few chrome parts on this. Very well done. Again, Beast Machines isn't exactly my cup of tea, but I can absolutely see how, if it is your cup of tea, this is absolutely the best tea you could get. But yeah, let's take a look at his accessories. I actually have some accessories plugged into him already. These are his maces. And they're just simple design here. One thing that I should point out is that you'll see due to the positioning of the handle, there's an actual like mold line in here. And that means that there's a front and a back. And I noticed when I plugged them in, and was not respectful of that mold line. You see how they're not equal? So whatever orientation you put them in, be sure to put them in the same orientation. See, that's much better. I have been going... You can see the seam here from where the second piece was put onto it, plugging that side in. That's worked out fine for me. There is, by the way, speaking of paint apps, there is a little bit of, I want to say this is due to, this is a molding defect. So as the plastic comes in, and I'm not sure exactly where that plastic comes in. Let me take a look, see if I can. Looks like maybe it's the sprue part is right in here. But anyhow, as that plastic comes in and spreads through the mold, it kind of cools. A good analogy is if you've seen a lava flow, and then the lava will kind of flow and then harden a bit, and then like new lava will burst out of it. That's basically what's happening here, is that the front of this plastic flow is cooling, and then molten plastic behind that is bursting through, and you get these little lines here that are at the end of this wide flat, basically heat sink of a mold feature. So they could have alleviated that by adding in some more sprues, but then you would have had more sprue marks. So I think it's extremely minor. It's the sort of thing that I bet you none of you, or certainly maybe almost none of you would have noticed that if I hadn't pointed it out. So, but anyhow, yes. So accessories. He's got those maces there. He comes with a gun that he can hold in his hand. It lights up, basically a flashlight. He comes with the same effect parts that Transmittal Cheetor came with. And you can take these and plug them in together. So you can have a big blast effect on that, which looks really good when it's lit up, actually. The electronics in this gun are not that great. They're just really kind of janky. Doesn't really want to stay on the way you'd expect it should. Oh, well, there, I tap it and it fits, and yeah, I don't know. Janky electronics. Personally, I think that looks best. Just those two of the three parts. Unlike the other transmittal figure I reviewed, he has all of his little effects parts. And these are the exact same effect parts that came with Cheetor, so if I had taken the time to open this figure before I had messed with that Cheetor, I could have shown you all of the parts. And I wouldn't have even mentioned that anything was missing, because I'm just that kind of a guy. But this gun, yeah, let's throw a blast effect on there just because it looks better. This gun can fit into his hand. There is like a little tab system in his hand. It will fit into a slot in the handle of this gun. Not the most secure connection, but it's not bad. It's not the worst thing. And so he can look around and point his gun and make blast effect noises at somebody. And when you're not using that, you can go ahead and flip out this little bracket here on his leg, and you can clip that in. And it holds that just fine. He also comes with a couple of alternate faces. So of course this is his neutral face. He also comes with a happy face and an angry face. And swapping out faces is really easy. You just kind of grab the front of his face and yank it off. And both the front faceplate and the actual expression itself will come off. These just separate out. pick out the face you like. I'm going to use the angry one and plug it all back together. And now he's upset about something. He's probably going to get ready to fling some poo at Megatron. He does have a feature in this mode, an action feature. You can take his old backpack here and you can swing it around. And then you just put his hands like right up, hidden by these shoulder pads. And now it's like he's using his backpack to shoot at something. And it looks about as you'd expect. Anyhow. Again, that's the feature that was present in the original toy, and so, well, if it's present in the original toy, it's got to be present here. That's just how a really good homage works. And I think that that's not bad at all. But anyhow, let's get into his articulation real quick. His head is on a ball joint. It will look down and up. Turn side to side. It'll actually go all the way around. But, you know, we're not the Exorcist here. His arm goes out for the full tree pose. It'll go all the way around. This is on a ball joint, and it'll move freely out of the way. So that'll go all the way around if you need to. Nice ratchets on this, by the way. A bicep pivot there. Single joint for the elbow, but it's kind of cool because it's got some extra detail that sticks out once you start bending it. Just over 90 degrees of bend. It's not bad. His wrist is on a ball joint, so it rotates fine and moves around a little bit. He's got his thumb is on a single ball joint. His front finger has got 2 joints on it. And then his 3 fingers are all put together with the same 2 joints. So he can point, and he can hold things. And oh, by the way, speaking of holding things, I wanted to point out that he can hold these clubs, but it's a little weird because there's no actual like tab or anything like that. You just kind of wedge these up against that tab. And you curl his fingers around and it just holds it, you know, good enough. Not the most secure hold. But I mean, as I say to people, it's good for display but not necessarily for play. That'll come right out. But it's good enough if you display it. So long as it's not like, I don't know, holding on by the... whatever. Anyhow, he's got a waist joint. His legs go forward. Nice ratchets, by the way, again. All the way back. All the way out for a full Van Damme. He's got a thigh pivot right there. He's got... So, it's technically a single bend at the knee, but there's a transformation joint in there as well. So you can basically get a double joint out of it. So, you know, I'm just going to give it to him. And then a lot of tiltage at the toe. It'll point all the way down. It'll point a little bit up. Go back and forth. Pivots. Oh, by the way, there's a pivot at the knee as well. So, a lot of articulation. The only thing I can really say negatively about him in terms of articulation is that his feet are not, like, they're flat enough, but it's difficult to get him to stand on them because these ankle joints could have been quite a bit, they could have been quite a bit stronger. So, it's a little bit of a bummer, but, you know, once you get him standing and you don't, you know, bump him too much, He's just not the most stable figure. He's a little wobbly. Which is why, I suppose, you could put him on a stand. He does come with a stand. He actually comes with 2 stands. The exact stands that the Transmetal Cheetor came with. And so, first and foremost, you can demonstrate the tabbing system that these will fit together. I don't really want to put them together because they're a little difficult to pull apart, but you can tab them together. You can put this little octagonal pegs in, and then we'll throw this guy in here. And then because he's got holes instead of pegs, you can throw in this little guy here. Let's actually take this and plug this in further back. And then this is what plugs into his booty, into his monkey hole. And I mean, it's alright. Not like great or amazing, but it's alright. I would in fact go so far as to grab a second one of these joints. So that as you move this one around, you can keep it more or less level. That guy doesn't want to stand up. Maybe that's why he's got 2, because then you can increase the width of your base. And now his butt peg doesn't want to come out. But anyhow, it's nice that they've included that. I mean, he does have his little skateboard mode, his titular skateboard mode, and so that would kind of facilitate the use of a stand. So maybe that's how you want to do it. But I don't know. I'm not a very big stand person myself. I mean, I like stands, but I also don't really have like any figures that are actually standing on stands. So it's there if you want to use it, which I think is fantastic. Yeah, this chrome is picking up everything. Anyhow, let's get this guy transformed real quick. So what we want to do is we want to pull up these shoulder pads, yank on these little connection parts here to disconnect his chest. And really cool thing here, there's like a double joint system in here. How can this be fully lit to my eye, but like completely in shadow to the camera? That's weird. There's like this little double joint system in there, so it actually like doesn't just come out, doesn't just fold out on a hinge, it actually like comes out to give proper clearance. That's a cool little piece of engineering there. Rotate this guy around, close it back up. This part we're going to come bring over. These little struts are going to rotate. And this one here. So we're going to put this flat up against his body and push these flat up against his body. We're going to rotate this waist. We'll do the legs last. The arm, you want to open up this panel here and open up this panel on the back. And then you just take the hand and flip it all the way around and then close it back up. Rotate the arm. And do the same for the other side. Open, open. Make sure this hand is closed up into a fist. Bring that around. His thumb wants to get caught on that elbow joint. Let me try. it around. There we go. Close it. Rotate. Nope. Rotate. And now you want to take these legs. Basically what you want to do is you want to bend his knee, pop out this little panel here, and then bring this down. You can see there's this little widening. No, you can't see. There's this little widening part there in the knee joint, and we're going to take this down and bring it in and touch it right into there. Come on. Come on. You know you wanna. There we go. Put that into place. Bring this joint up. That will put this flat up against the back of his leg. And that's basically it. We're going to do the same for the other side. Bend the knee. Bring this little guy up and in. Fold this up. And now you've got him in his gorilla mode. And he's a lot shorter because he has half the leg that he had before. So in this mode, he's got, in terms of accessories, he's got the same accessories, which is, you know, your gun you can use still. Your clubs you can use still. You can still plug them onto the back here if you want. He's a little bit harder to balance now because he's got no ankle posability at all. And so, if he's not perfectly balanced, he will fall over. He's got 3 expressions here for his face, but they're a little weird to see because it's all done in this very shiny chrome. But this is his neutral expression. And then you can kind of come and tuck your finger under his chin and just yank his face straight off. And here's a happy expression. And here's an angry expression. Now, I'll be honest with you, because of the chrome, it's really, really hard to see any kind of a difference between the normal expression and the happy expression. So, of those, this is my favorite one because you can actually see he's got this, you know, well-painted teeth. And why is it not focusing? There we go. And to put that back in, you're just gonna, there's a little tab up at the top of the head. You're just gonna plug that into a slot here and then just press it in. And now he can look angered. Anger monkey. And yeah, that's basically it. His arms are exactly the same. Same elbow joints, same bicep swivel, same, I mean, the hands aren't the same hands, but they're engineered exactly the same, and the same size and the same amount of posability. Same waist joint, same posability on the monkey legs, though he's got no knees, so it's a little more difficult to pose him. And his heels are wheels. He's got heelies. Ball joint for the head. A little bit more up motion now, but that's because part of the thing is you want to be able to like put him forward and then like actually have him monkeying around on his knuckles, which he can do quite well actually. And then last but not least, there is his skateboard mode. And to do that, what you want to do is you want to extend out these. You want to take this tab and put it away. Take these little struts, poke them out, and then you want to turn both of these around. Point them towards the center and peg them together. And now you have Skateboard Gorilla skateboarding around. And folks, this is just as ridiculous in 2021 as it was in, gosh, what was it, 1997, 98? In the late 90s. He does have wheels on the bottom of this, so he will technically roll around. He won't balance on this. And I can flat out guarantee you that he's really not going to balance on this. I had thought that there was a way for this to plug into a base. I guess you'd have to use the butt connection yet again. But you can plug him into his flying base. I'm not going to do that because, honestly, that flying base doesn't seem very sturdy for a figure of this mass. And I don't want to do anything super weird to it because this isn't actually mine. As I've mentioned before, I think that this is an easy recommend to someone who has warm fuzzies about Beast Machines, but that person isn't specifically me. And so I don't have this for my collection. I'm borrowing this from a friend. But if you are someone who has warm fuzzies for Transmetal Beast Wars figures, then you probably already have one of these. It's been out for a little bit. You know, I'll rest him against the back. Yeah. I'll fake it. But yeah, this has been the TransArts Skateboard Gorilla. I think it's a pretty decent figure. It's a provisional recommend, not a hard recommend. But I definitely think that it's alright. Thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Hey, look, you can see me in the reflection. Ooh. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya. Bye.